directly from our judges as an extension of the private interview that was heard earlier this week.
That's right. This is a pretty neat segment. What we're going to do is ask the candidates a question that the judges did not get a chance to ask in their interview. And this portion of the competition accounts for 15% of the candidates' total score.
Tonight, we will hear from the Alpha Group, and let's meet our first group of candidates.
Give them a round of applause. Here they come.
All right, second night. How are y'all feeling?
Great. I just know, really, I wasn't feeling well earlier, so I want to give a special shout out to all the volunteers backstage because I know specifically, and I think all of the girls and I can attest to, without them, we wouldn't be up here today.
Awesome,
Thank you so much. Yes, they do deserve a round of applause. They
they come they come every year, and they're just like, give us their all. So we are so fortunate. But let's get started. Ms. Orangeburg, Addie Ledbetter. In your private interview, you mentioned that you are the product of a biracial marriage. How can this help you in your platform to improve race relations in the state of South Carolina?
Absolutely. So both of my parents grew up during segregation, and so my mother, who is African American, couldn't use simple things such as a water fountain or the bathroom. And so I have really learned from that experience. As Miss South Carolina, our state and our nation is so diverse. And so you're a representative, and you have to speak to people with kindness and treat them fairly no matter their race, gender, or sexual orientation.
Thank you, Addie.
Next, we have Miss Low Country, Morgan Elvis. You mentioned to the judges in your interview that you love working with children and their families. How have your past experiences helped you to be a good advocate for our Children's Miracle Network hospitals here in South Carolina?
I work with children all the time, and I think it's important to realize that they are on a different level and they process things differently. My family has gone through several tragedies, one being that my sister is missing. And I know that it's not the same circumstance, but a child in the hospital, you hear the parents say all the time, I just want my child back. And although it's different, it is similar to missing a child. And the emotional distress that goes through that is something that I can relate to and really help with hands-on with the families behind the scenes and with the other siblings that are watching their siblings in the hospital bed. And I think that it's very important to remember that those families don't get left behind.
Next, we have Armani Lattimore, Miss Richland County. In your interview, you talked about growing up in a military family. If you're chosen as Miss South Carolina, what steps can you take to help military families in our state?
So one of the main things that I had to go through as a child was that my dad was deployed, but we were not able to go with him. And a lot of times we got to talk to him, but he missed those key moments. And a lot of people didn't realize that we were going through these things, but it's just the little things that can help with these military families. So one of the main things that I want to do on a state level as in South Carolina and on a national level is promote that communities really come in and help these families. You can cut their grass, you can cook them meals, anything really helps, and everything is very much appreciated.
It's all the small things.
All right, and rounding out this group, we have Miss Camden Joy DeWitt. In your private interview, you mentioned that happiness is very important to you. How do you manage your passion and love of life with the reality of life and the difficulties it sometimes brings?
So growing up as a child, I experienced a lot of trauma that my father inflicted upon me and my mom and my sister, and it still hurts to this day, but I've taken that trauma and I'm not going to let it be a crutch for me or something that gets me down. It is my rod of power and it's my launching pad for success, and I look at it every day and I say, you know what, I'm going to rise above that, and I do every single day of my life. Thank you.
And thank you, ladies. We gladly welcome the next second group of ladies.
Give them a round